There's a reason Ukraine is nicknamed the breadbasket of Europe. The country produces about 10% of the entire world's wheat, 14% of the world's corn, and half of its sunflower oil.
Joe Biden said today in a statement that food shortages are real and that we can expect them due to what's going on in the Ukraine. He also either had a slip of the tongue or you can see how badly he mumbles through this video, but said, we both talked about how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food choices. Probably a dementia slip, but we'll watch this video and see what he has to say.
With regard to food shortages, yes, we did talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well. And because both Russia and Ukraine have been the breadbasket of Europe in terms of wheat, for example, just to give you one example. But we had a long discussion in the G7 with both the United States, which has a significant, the third largest producer of wheat in the world, as well as Canada, which is also a major, major producer. And we both talked about how we could increase and disseminate more rapidly food shortages. In addition to that, we talked about urging all the European countries and everyone else to end trade restrictions on sending limitations on sending food abroad. And so we are in the process of working out with our European friends what it would take to help alleviate the concerns relative to food shortages.
So food shortages are real. I mean, we've been seeing it going on, so many different dilemmas. I mean, it's fitting perfectly in with Agenda 2030, which they want, they want these elites of the world want to completely control the resources of the world and only give the peasants the little bit that, they think we deserve. Don't forget that this is Joe Biden said in 2020 when there is food shortages to the Rona going on. We don't have a food shortage problem. We have a leadership problem. And here we have Joe Biden in office. We got food shortages he's talking about, as well as the fact that, food orders that used to cost $10, $12 now cost $16. Inflation is completely ridiculous. We have inflation. We've got food shortages. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then here we have him talking about how can we give more of our resources to people in Ukraine. I mean, seriously, we're short on resources and we're giving them out to people in Ukraine. And here we have, Democrats and Republicans united on, we need to stand up for Ukraine, protect Ukraine and its border. Meanwhile, our border is being flooded. I mean, the hypocrisy of these people, especially of just the liberal mind, you can see how easily they are programmed just by whatever the TV says. I mean, no one believes in the Rona anymore. It's now 100% focused on Ukraine. So this is just completely tying into Agenda 2030. The global plan designed by ruling class to completely control all of Earth's resources in line with the Georgia Guidestones, one language, depopulation of the Earth, same with Agenda 2012. Get those who are alive in super smart cities where every single one of your moves and thoughts can be watched and controlled, and you have a social credit score. It's all fitting in completely to their plan. They never let a good crisis go to waste, and we're seeing that now. And I saw the other day, I tried to find the exact article, but couldn't. But you can easily see just by typing "eat crickets, save the world" in any search engine, and you'll just see article after article and video after video about how, when we start eating insects, it's going to save the world. The ocean levels are going to not rise, even though they're not rising anyway. But if we start eating crickets, they won't rise. So you should really just start eating bugs. And we're just seeing this on every front. And we will continue to with poor leadership. I mean, the leadership's not poor. It's designed to bring down America. The leaderships of the world are designed to take down freedom and to try to unite us under their global thumb of oppression. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So I'll link a video. I've made so many videos on the food shortages, but there's ways to, especially living in North America, to be above that. I mean, there's a lot of resources out there that you can harvest yourself pretty easily. So I'll link a video to that and we'll just see what happens, but no reason to fear. God will get us through this. And, you know, these people, they have these plans all the time and they always fail because things go on God's agenda, and these people are just caught up in their own lies and messes constantly. But it's good to be aware of and to plan for any outcome. Thanks for watching. God bless.
Depopulation should be the highest priority of foreign policy towards the Third World. Henry Kissinger, 1974.
Line is, while this country is at war, there will be a limited supply of Ukrainian agriculture getting out to the world. North Africa, Europe, Asia, all depend incredibly on Ukrainian agriculture. You mentioned the sunflower oil, the wheat, all the grain that comes from here. And so what's going to happen is there will be not only potential famine in those parts of the world, but also additional pressure on us, the United States, to produce and export throughout the world. So that's going to affect both on the hunger level, people throughout the world, but also the prices for pretty much all of us across the planet.
There's a need for a new world order, but it has different characteristics in different parts of the world. Now, none of this may succeed this time, but this to me is sort of the outline by which someday, in the next few years, a solution will emerge.
And here I would like briefly to compare the parable of Brave New World with another parable which was put forth more recently in George Orwell's book 1984. I'm inclined to think that the scientific dictatorships of the future, and I think there are going to be scientific dictatorships in many parts of the world, will be probably a good deal nearer to the Brave New World pattern than to the 1984 pattern. They will be a good deal nearer, not because of any humanitarian qualms in the scientific dictators, but simply because the Brave New World pattern is probably a good deal more efficient than the other. That if you can get people to consent to the state of affairs in which they are living, the state of servitude, the state of being, well, it seems to me that the nature of the ultimate revolution with which we are now faced is precisely this, that we are in process of developing a whole series of techniques